This is the new Morgan Plus 4. Now you might wonder why I've said new, because doesn't this look like a regular old Morgan? Well, yeah, but Morgan these days is a very different company. They've had some pretty significant investments and now they are making some really good cars while still staying really like Morgans. So underneath that gorgeous louved bonnet is a turbocharged 2-litre 4-cylinder engine courtesy of BMW, and that is matched to an automatic ZF gearbox driving the rear wheels. It all works incredibly well, and not only that, the interior quality has really shot up. This is now a proper premium classic car that gives you all the look, all the feel, all the experience, but it's a modern car. So let's have a look inside and show you through some of the features. Even the action of opening these tiny doors and getting in just adds to the whole experience. That feels rock solid for this type of car. Now, on the inside, it is pretty basic. It's all you need because this is a car that is about driving and really nothing else. What have you got? You have a basic flat bottom steering wheel here. There's no multifunction controls, and obviously as it uses the ZF box, you do have some paddles on the back. Now these are a little bit on the plasticky side, but they work fine. Most people, I think, will probably just leave it in automatic mode, and as you can see, this is a regular shifter that you'll find in any normal BMW. The instruments, well, like all proper sports cars, the rev counter is nearer to you. It's closer to your line of sight. It is the more relevant one here, and you have your speedometer on the left, and you do have a twist key. So once you turn on the ignition, it all comes on to life. Very simple, straightforward. You've got fan speed, you can turn on your heated screens, you've got some blowers on your feet, 2 blowers here. It is Spartan, but it's very well made. The quality of the finish inside, the materials that are used, all of the sort of features and all the tactile points that you're going to touch all feel really nicely done. It's got a proper handbrake, it's got a knurled finish to it, the stubby lever. It all works very well. Even the buttons, there isn't BMW switchgear in here. You have basic buttons here, but they're actually very nice and simple to use because they don't distract you. There's no big infotainment screens here. This is really basic motoring, but that's what you want in a car like this. From the moment you start driving this Morgan Plus 4, you realize that this isn't like Morgans of old. The bonded aluminium chassis just is one of the elements that makes this so much nicer to drive. It feels so much better made. It rides bumps well. It feels rock solid, even when opening and closing the doors. It's exactly what you would expect a classic car to be, but it doesn't feel in any way like a classic car. It's all the modern conveniences you would want, just draped in a very attractive suit. Now you do get a lot of the same features that we're used to seeing in a Morgan. You get a very compact, very simple cabin design. There's nothing here to distract you. There's no infotainment screens. All you have is a small windscreen. You have your traditional 3 wipers, and you have this amazing view down the bonnet, that louved bonnet that seems to just go on for what seems like 10 feet. And of course you have your wheel arches, you have that frog eye headlights. It's just all the sort of features that just make this such a charming car. You don't really care if you're driving fast in this car. It's not a car that is about that. It's about just getting out, going for a drive for the sheer hell of it. It's exactly what modern driving should be these days. We're so distracted by everything. Everything is isolating you from the world. You're cocooned in these bubbles, and this is just so wonderfully the opposite of that. You know, if you want to have windows, you've got to put them on yourself. I don't know why you would ever want to have the roof up unless you were very, very cold. It's just exactly what motoring should be. But Morgan has brought this into the modern era with not only the chassis, but that fantastic BMW engine. It's a 2-litre turbocharged unit, has loads of power. In fact, far more power than anyone who traditionally would have bought a Morgan would probably expect. It works that automatic ZF gearbox incredibly well too. BMW has become an expert at that, and that transitions across to this Morgan as well. So you have, again, a car that's really easy to drive in traffic. It shifts gears smoothly, perfectly in fact. And you have really nice direct feel from the steering. You know, there's a little bit of elasticity there, but it still has a very nice old world mechanical feel to it. If this had super light electronically assisted steering like you might have in your latest half electric SUV, it just would totally take away from the driving experience of this car. This is a car that you will want to drive. It's a car to get out in the elements. But of course, it doesn't always have to be so sedate, because even though this has more than ample power in its normal setting, you can pop that ZF gearbox into sport mode and even engage Sport Plus, and well, things get very different, because all of a sudden this car really comes to life. You can hear the turbo whooshes from the engine, the exhaust pops and bangs, and the gearbox just guides through all the changes as quickly as you would ever want. And that's before you even start using the paddles, which, even though they have a little bit of a plastic feel for them, deliver you gear changes telepathically, super quick, and it really makes this car come alive. The ride is, if I'm honest, quite firm, and it's a busy ride. It does like to get pulled around a little bit on the road, but it's not to the detriment of the whole experience. This is a car that you'll have so much fun driving at 50 or 60 miles an hour that you will feel like you're doing double that speed. And that's really where this car comes into its own. It just feels such a thrill, such an experience to drive. Brakes could be a little bit more powerful, but this is a brand new car. They're still bedding in a little bit. And it's just, well, this is a car that will only ever put a smile on your face. This in 2021 is such a refreshing change from all the electrification and super crazy horsepower figures that were being dished out left, right and center. This is a perfect example that proves less is more, and it is a heck of a lot of fun. The Morgan Plus 4 is a car with some imperfections, but it's those imperfections that actually make this what it is. This is a car that gives you an experience very few other cars will these days. It has all the purity, all the excitement of a classic sports car, but with all the modern conveniences. It is very much now a premium product. It feels very well made. It has all the right materials inside. It is a car that you're not going to get worried as to whether it's going to start in the morning. It has all the wonderful attributes that you would expect and want from a car like a Morgan. It is very much unique in that respect. People will know what it is. They might not necessarily know what year it is, but they will certainly give you a smile as you're driving by. If you want to know more about this car, do head over to our website, which is CompleteCar.ie. You'll find a detailed review of this car and its rivals, not to mention hundreds of others. So if you're looking for a new car, head over to CompleteCar.ie. In the meantime, we really appreciate to know what you think about this. So get involved in the comments below and tell us what you think about this car. Does it live up to the hype in your mind, or would you rather something else? If you'd rather something else, tell us what it is. We'd love to hear from you. Please do remember to subscribe as well. And if you already do, thank you very much. We hope you enjoy our next video. So make sure you hit the notification bell and you'll be alerted the next time we upload a review. Thanks for watching.